Hello, greetings. This is Gina Stenback here. I am the co-founder of Stenback Digital Media and SEO with Soul. And today I have the absolute pleasure of interviewing Akanke Adefunmi, executive and leadership coach. Akanke is not only a client of ours, but she has also been a mentor and a friend. And I'm just really excited to tackle this topic with her. Akanke, is at the forefront of helping pave the way of the leadership of the new era. And she is also a thought leader and a champion for diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. And really, with between her and I, she created the Leader of the New Era blog, which we love sharing content in there about leadership of the new era. And I am going to ask you a few questions today, Akanke, about where leadership is really going today, the importance of continuing to do leadership training, and where you see the future of leadership. So we'll take this back and forth. I'm going to throw it back to you and see if you want to say anything else about you and your work before we get started.
Um, Thank you, Gina. I'm so glad to talk with you today. I think you nailed it. I think that was a great introduction. So let's just dive in.
Awesome. So the first question I have for you is I wanted to see if you could expand a little bit more on your body of work as a leadership coach, and really what makes your approach different, especially now in 2024 and beyond, going into this new era of leadership.
Yeah, thanks. So as you said, I'm an executive and leadership development coach. I'm also a licensed spiritual practitioner. I am an entrepreneur. And so with bringing all of that, into my work with clients, I'm also a workshop facilitator. And so bringing all of that into my work with clients gives me a unique perspective on how to work with people, how to support them in ways that they really need to feel supported. And so in my work, I take a holistic approach to coaching. And when I say holistic, I'm talking about mindset. I'm talking about the energy that they bring. I'm talking about their spirit, their body, their various identities. And so when I am coaching someone, I look at all of those and make sure that all of the pieces of who they are, all the pieces are present in that coaching conversation, right? So often leaders will come to me for coaching, either for themselves or for their teams. And they may come focused on, hey, I have this problem, or this conflict is taking place, or we're going through this particular change. And yes, that's important to the coaching conversation, and important to when it comes to partnering with them. But in coaching, I really want to focus first on all of who they are, right? I'm talking about the person that is right here before me, the leader that they are, the leader that they want to be. Who is that person? What is their energy? What energy do they want to bring to the situation? How are they showing up emotionally, right? So it's important to have those deeper conversations, because the reality is that problems and conflicts and transitions will always be there. And so it's important for leaders to be able to dive deeper into what's really going on here. Who am I? How am I looking at this situation, approaching this situation? What energy and mindset am I bringing to the conflict, right? coming from this place, coming from that place, is what is going to help leaders navigate whatever it is that they're faced, whether it's in their current organization or in a future organization.
Expanding a little bit more into that, you work a lot with executives and corporate teams. And what I'd love to learn more about is your take in leadership development and its importance when it comes to the corporate arena.
Yeah, so my take is that there has to be a balance of inner work and outer work, right? We live in a time where we're focused on doing. Oh, we have to be more productive. We have to, constantly be busy. And it is, so of course it's important to take action, and it's even more important for us to focus on that being part of ourselves, right? That's the inner work. So I said a moment ago, I talked about the importance on focusing on the whole person, their body, mind, spirit, their identities, right? That's the inner work that that's important for leadership and for their teams, alongside that doing, the productivity part, right? So I would say when it comes to the importance of leadership development, it's key. It's essential. It's essential in order to improve performance, right? I want to show up better. I want to perform at my highest and best. And in order for me to do that, I have to make sure that I have the mindset required for me to perform at my best, that I'm showing up. I have that level of presence that's important in leadership within organizations today. I have to say the old way of leading no longer works. It doesn't work anymore. People today have options. They have so many options of organizations to work with, or now more than ever, people are starting their own businesses because they're kind of sick and tired of the culture of some organizations, right? And so they have more options than ever. People are said. What I'm hearing is that from clients, from individuals, but also from teams, is that they want to be tied to a bigger purpose. They want to know that they are making a difference in the world. People want to feel valued. They don't want to just feel like they're cogs in the machine, right? They don't want to feel like they're just a number. They want to feel valued. They want to have this sense of belonging within the organization across their teams. And so that's why I say that, sure, the doing part, the productivity part, the activities, those are important. And yet that inner work is just as, if not more important, right? That bigger purpose, knowing you're making a difference in the world, feeling value, feeling that sense of belonging and connection, not only connection to your team members, connections across the organization, but connection to something bigger that's happening in the world. And so when it comes to working with executives and corporate teams, this has kind of been my learning about it, and what has shown up across industries that I've worked with.
The impact of leadership development, or really high quality leadership programs, what is the impact that has in companies, in corporations, organizations as they implement them? And especially when it comes to like the return on investment, because I'm sure that you get this a lot, is, business is business, and the bottom line is always, always going to be important. So where do you see the impact of these types of programs in companies, corporations in general, and also when it comes to the return on their investment?
Yeah. So there was a recent study done that included like 700, over 750 corporate managers. And the research looked at what are they seeing in terms of results, uh, in terms of leadership development program results. And so I just want to highlight just a few. So top improvements in leaders include greater work quality, increased productivity, better communication between their team members, increased engagement, improved project efficiency, better performing managers, and also direct reports. So it's you know it's not just leadership development programs aren't just a nice to have, right? We just talked about how people now have options to go anywhere else they want or even start their own businesses. When you invest in your people, you're investing in the future of your organization, right? And so those are improvements that this study highlighted within organizations in their leadership. When it comes to top improvements of direct reports, individual contributors, we're talking about improved work quality, greater efficiency, increased collaboration, right?
Mm-hmm.
Increased collaboration. People are working better together, communicating better, communicating more effectively, and so on. We're seeing increased productivity and increased revenue and sales, right? Let's just talk about dollars. Let's talk about dollars. So the study revealed that for every dollar that organizations spend on leadership development, the return on the investment is 7 times.
Wow.
7 times. So they're seeing increased sales and revenue. There are savings. We're seeing savings through employee retention and then also reduce recruiting costs. So those are just the facts there. Those are the facts there. So it's not even like I have to sit here and even talk more about the importance of inner work and outer work. Yes, that's important. And these are the results we're seeing because in those organizations that are focused on supporting people to perform and show up as their best selves. This is what we're seeing in organizations that value their people, that have nurtured a culture of belonging, that are supporting people to focus not only on the doing part of everyday work, but also the being part. How is it that they're showing up? What's the energy that they're bringing? How are they engaging and collaborating, right? That inner work aligned with that outer work. So these are the results. These are the results.
Mm-hmm. That's huge. 7 times. That's big. And I can just see like, I mean, as a business owner, one of the biggest, things for us is like the recruiting, the right people. And then, you go and you train them. And then if there's turnover and you have to do it all over again, it's a huge, it's a huge chunk of investment and time and money and energy. So that's huge. And then I could only see like how with these programs, which I'm going to ask you something a little bit different here, but I can see that helping the culture, the employees, also take ownership of the vision of the organization, and that can only have all of the improvements that you're talking about in collaboration and actually productivity, not just for the sake of productivity, but for the sake of the results, which is, I think it's huge.
Yeah. When people feel seen, when people feel heard, when people feel valued, when they feel that an organization is invested in their future, then then they're going to perform, right? They're going to bring their best selves to work. And so that I mean, we can say that across organizations, but even in, our everyday personal relationships, when we feel valued, when we feel like people are taking time to hear what it is that we need in our everyday relationships, then those relationships are healthier, right? Our communication is much better. And so, of course, when companies are investing in their people, people are going to show up for the organization. They're going to show up for their teams. They're going to show up for their teammates, of course.
I imagine that not every leadership development program is created equal. And since you have so much knowledge and experience in this area, how important is working with an experienced facilitator, coach? And also on that note, how, why is it so important to find the right match for each company's specific needs?
Yeah, yeah. So it's critical. It's critical to work with someone that's experienced. I mean, think about it. I mean, are you going to work with a doctor that's inexperienced? No. And so working with the coach is just as important, right? Maybe a doctor, you want someone who's an expert, in some specific area of study. Well, that's because, your physicality is a part of your life, obviously. And when you're working with the coach, you're working with your whole being, right? Your life. And so, of course, it's important to work with the person that is right for you. And when I talk about the person that's right for you, when I think about when I look for a coach, or I look for someone to support me, I want to make sure that that person is acknowledging all of who I am, all of my identities. I want to make sure that I have a sense of connection with this person, that their energy and my energy, like we vibe together, if you will. I want to know, and clients who work with me, we have a shared mission, and that is to have a positive impact in the world. And so, working with someone that there is some shared mission or some shared value or some shared reason for doing what it is that you're doing. I'm not saying we have to have the exact same, that we're making the exact same impact, but it's important that that the person that you're working with, the organization that I'm working with, that there is a sense of alignment. And, with regard to, looking at a company that has specific needs, well, there are no cookie cutter approaches to life. There are no cookie cutter approaches to working with an individual, right? There are 8 billion people on the planet. I can't bring the same solution for 8 billion people on the planet. And so it's the same with organizations. Organizations are different. They all have a different culture, and they all have different needs. And so it's important for companies, when they're working with an organizational development consultant or a coach like myself, that the programs are offering are unique to the organization, that takes the organization's needs and objectives and team dynamics into consideration when you're designing a program, when you're designing programs for them. And so it's really, really important to take that time to get to know the organization, to get to know the team. So for me, so that whatever I'm designing really aligns with the initiatives that are important within the organization.
The world in general has been going through some massive transformations. And
Mhm.
now I'm thinking now is the time to get excited. How do you see the future shaping out as far as leadership goes in this new era? What can we expect to see from emerging leaders?
Yeah. What I'm seeing are leaders that want to lead authentically. And when I say authentically, it's not like bringing all of your trauma and drama to work, but really leading from their higher selves, leading from this place of impact, leading from a place of really wanting to make a difference, leading from this place of wanting to support people to feel that sense of belonging, support their team to feel valued. I am working with leaders who are focused on improving their presence, right? Their energy. How is it that they're showing up in a room? How is it that they're showing up with their team? What are the ways that they want to make sure that they can better navigate uncertainty and change and innovation? And so that presence piece has been really, really important to a lot of the leaders that I work with, and having a sense of connection and being tapped into their team's needs, the needs of the individual team members, but collectively the team, right? And so I would say that what you can expect coming forward with the leaders, and I mean they're in it now, and they're starting to sharpen this part of themselves. But that is showing up authentically at work, really connecting with their team, creating and nurturing this sense of belonging, having team members feel valued, making sure that whatever they're doing, they're making a positive difference in the lives of their team members and the organization and the greater world. So I'm excited about the leaders of in this new era. I'm excited for them. It's an honor for me to support people who want to do better, right? One of my favorite quotes from is from Maya Angelou. She says, "When you know better, you do better." And I'm finding that these leaders today realize that they have to do better. They want to do better. And there's a passion. There's this like deep kind of internal like fire to do something, to do better than the previous generation of leaders, right? To do better than the organizations in which they came from. I can't tell you how many times I work with the leaders who are like, I want to be better than my previous organization. I want to be better than my boss was once upon a time. And so they're really taking time out to identify and to be with, who's the leader I want to be? How do I want to lead? Right? How do I want, at the end of the day, um, how do I want to make people feel? How do I want to walk away knowing the difference that, I want to walk away knowing that I made a difference in people's lives. And so I'm excited. I'm excited for how leaders are transforming today.
It is exciting. It's exciting to just see like what's to come. And it's exciting for, I think, for us as, not the spring chickens in the in this era, but to see what is in store for those newer generations. I know I don't have kids, but I have nieces and nephews, and they're in corporate, and I'm just excited to see, what's to come for all of us.
I have my son and daughter are in college. My son's about to graduate, and so I've spoke with them about, how is it that they're showing up? How do they want to be when they enter the corporate environment? I talked to my son about the importance of authenticity and connection and helping people to feel seen and heard. And they're excited. They're excited about it. And so it's just fun to have a conversation with these young people who are like, you know what? We're going to be different. I'm doing things differently. And so it's just kind of fun to be, at my stage of the game. I've been around for a while, but then also to work with other established leaders, but also emerging leaders as well.
I want to wrap up by asking you, for anybody that might be interested in taking their leadership, whether it's themselves or in with their corporate teams to the next level, and learning a little bit more about how to work with you, what is the best way to get in touch with you and to start that conversation?
Yeah, so there are a couple of ways to get in touch with me. If you're on LinkedIn, just send me a DM. Reach out to me on LinkedIn, or visit my website. You can go to claimyourshiro.com, or you can go to akankeadefumi.com, same site. And there is a way for you to get in touch with me on the website, and just send me an email, and let's start the conversation.
Great. And everywhere that we put this video, we'll link to that information as well. So thank you so much. This is a very exciting time, I think, in when it comes to leadership in our world and in our business landscape.
Yeah, thank you so much, Gina. It's a pleasure talking with you always.